I remember the overdrawn story of my birth, I do. On the day I was born, my family was bundled beneath a heavy blanket of snow in their neat little bungalow in Glen Ellen, a promising Chicago suburb, they thought. The schools, of course, the space to grow, the affordable property. At 30, Tom was already a rising executive, and Mary was raising the kids. They had neither aspirations nor pretensions for the Gold Coast, and though they would outgrow house after house in the years ahead, this midmost of Midwestern suburbs was where they chose to be. That December morning was cold, cold, cold outside, while inside everything was hot and glowing. The flickering red and green lights on the little Christmas tree, the butter cookies fresh from the oven cooling on a rack, the chestnuts, the steaming cider. And of course, Mom herself, 2 weeks past her due date, swollen to explosive proportions and absolutely ablaze. The aroma of roasting turkey and sweet potatoes splitting their skins, mixed with the close and pungent scent from the nursery, and the air crackled expectantly. The presents had all been opened, wrapping paper and ribbon littering the living room, when Mom felt me stir and stretch. "Here it is," she said. The last unopened present. A neighbor watched over my brother and sister while Tom and Mary drove off to Oak Park Hospital, 20 miles east along North Avenue, covered now with slush and ice. Tom maneuvered the car through the snow blurries, struggling to stay toward the center line. As the journey to my birth was told and retold, stretched and exaggerated, it was as if the young couple had arrived by dog sled, having crossed the Alps in a blinding blizzard. Would they arrive in time? Would they survive? Would there be a bed prepared? It blended easily with the story of Christmas, and became a story of peril, precariousness, lives in the balance, and, yes, miracle, which is, properly narrated, the story of every birth. In reality, mine was strictly middle of the road, routine, par for the miracle course. I missed Christmas by minutes, but that never diminished the intensity of this foundational myth. I was the best Christmas present ever, my life achieved against great danger and risk. And I believed it for years and decades to come. I was the third baby, Kathy leading the way, followed by Tim a couple of years later, and then, boom, 18 months and there I was, scrambling, I imagine now, for space and food in the hatchery, angling for rank in this rapidly expanding household. It didn't take long for me to move up in the kiddiarchy. Rick came along directly, with Juan still a decade off, a kind of blessed mistake or wondrous afterthought. Juan was not his given name, of course. No, that would be John Stephen. He acquired Juan in late adolescence, when, as a school dropout, he went to work as a dishwasher and busboy in a cafeteria in California. John Ayers, he saw right away, was not a good fit here, and so he reinvented and rechristened himself. He's been Juan Chicago to friends and family ever since. Being the middle child forever stamped me. Kathy and Tim forged the way, set the agendas, pushed some of the bigger boulders aside, while leaving other obstacles in their wakes. Rick and Juan nudged from below and behind, and I learned to look simultaneously up and down, forward and backward. Kathy was the brains of the outfit, a consistent straight-A student, and Tim the most popular in anything he did. Rick was the true intellectual, wide-ranging and perceptive, with a searching and curious disposition of mind, and Juan was always the most likable. I was faithfully midship, dead center, and from my earliest memories I made friends with the older and the younger generations, moved easily both ways, became larger and smaller as required, dilated and contracted by the hour, comfortably stretching above myself in one moment, and in the next happily coming down.